In the last video, we have discussed about the spherical equivalent, the procedure of the spherical equivalent in Jackson cross cylinder. And now in this video, we are going to prove that the spherical equivalent of Jackson cross cylinder is 0. You know that there are different Jackson cross cylinders of different powers. We have Jackson cross cylinder of 0.25, 0.5, 0.75. So in this video, we are going to prove that the spherical equivalent of Jackson cross cylinder is 0. Suppose we have a Jackson cross cylinder of 0.25 of power, right? And 0.25 power at different axes as 90 apart. You know that these red lines are actually representing the axis of the minus power, which is minus 0.25, and these black lines are actually representing the axis of the plus power, 0.25. So now we are going to take the spherical equivalent of this Jackson cross cylinder. So now we will take any of them as our spherical correction. Suppose this minus 0.25 is our sphere, right? So for getting the cylinder, we have to move from minus 0.25 to plus 0.25, and you know that the gap between both of these values is 0.5. If we move from minus 0.25 to the plus 0.25, the difference between these two values is 0.5. And what about the sign? Actually, we are moving from minus to the plus direction, so the sign would be in plus, and the axis would be any of them, 90 or 180, right? We are nothing to do with the axis right now. So now we will take the spherical equivalent. So for the first step was, we have to get half of the cylinder. Our cylinder is 0.5 and the half of it is 0.25, and the sign would be the same, plus. And now this half of the cylinder will add in the spherical correction, which is minus 0.25. So for this, now our sphere is 0.25 minus, and the half of the cylinder is plus 0.25, right? So the answer is 0, because plus minus, the effect would be in minus. So if we minus 0.25 from plus 0.25, the answer would be 0. So we have proved that the spherical equivalent of any of Jackson cross cylinder is 0.